हमारा देश ना जो है ना सच में हैंग हो रहा है। अब
एक तरह से जैसे मूवी चलती है उस टाइप की न्यूज हो गई है।
कागज में और न्यूज भी सब विकास है।
कहे कुछ करे कुछ।
हम किसी बात पे न्यूज दे रहे हैं मगर सुनवाई नहीं होगी।
छोटे मोटे आदमियों से भी पूछना चाहिए, वो अपना 4 बंदे उनके फिक्स है।
Mainstream media seems to have let the people of this country down when they most needed them to be fair and to speak truth to power.
You have to question the silence.
एक तरफ चुप्पी है, दूसरी तरफ बहुत बड़ा शोर है, और यह शोर तरह तरह के दुर्भावना के स्वामियों का, गोस्वामियों का, भक्तों का स्वर है।
जवाहरलाल ने जिस तरह से जमहूरियत की नशोनमा के लिए काम किया था, वो काम की ज़रूरत फिर से पैदा हो गई है जो आज के मौजूदा हालात हैं।
इस शोर के खिलाफ नेशनल हेरल्ड विवेक का स्वर देगा।
With all the challenges facing India at this time, there is a great need for a platform that will give space to voices that believe in secularism, democracy, liberal ideology, and bring people together to replace this divisiveness, unite our society, and allow people to live their lives the way they want.
And sometimes you might want to say things that we as an organization might find a little distasteful. Go ahead and say it.
जवाहरलाल नेहरू का एक वाक्य है जो नेशनल हेराल्ड पर जाता है, और वो वाक्य है फ्रीडम इज इन पेरिल। ये हमेशा की चीज़ है। संघर्ष तो शायद इंसान के वजूद के साथ जुड़ा हुआ है।
धन्यवाद। चूंकि आज आज़ादी की 70वीं वर्षगांठ पे राष्ट्रीय नेशनल हेरल्ड एक स्मरणीय विशेषांक की राष्ट्रीय पति निकाल रहा है, मुझसे कहा गया है कि कुछ शब्द हिंदी में भी कहे जाएं। जैसे कि आपने देखा 1938 स्वतंत्रता संग्राम के आंदोलन के मध्य में इस अखबार का जन्म हुआ पंडित जवाहरलाल नेहरू जी के माध्यम से, और उन्हीं की कलम से लिखे हुए वो शब्द जो मुख्य पृष्ठ के शिखर पर अंकित हैं, आज भी शायद उतना ही प्रासंगिक है। फ्रीडम इज इन पेरिल, डिफेंड इट विद ऑल योर माइट। स्वतंत्रता संकट में है, पूरी ताकत से इसकी रक्षा करनी। वो मूल्य, वो आदर्श जिनके आधार पे, जिनके पहरी के रूप में नेशनल हेरल्ड अखबार सदा खड़ा रहा, वो भी आज उतना ही प्रासंगिक है। आधुनिक भारत का निर्माण, प्रजातांत्रिक भारत का निर्माण, न्याय संगत भारत का निर्माण, ऐसा भारत जिसमें सबको बराबरी का अधिकार, सबको बराबरी का अवसर हो। एक ऐसा भारत जहाँ पे उदारवादी परंपराएं हों, जहाँ पे सामाजिक समन्वय और समरसता हो। धर्म, जाति, भाषा, भूषा के आधार पर टकराव का कोई स्थान ना हो। ये वो आदर्श हैं जिनके पहरी के रूप में नेशनल हेरल्ड सदा खड़ा रहा। हिंदी के अखबार को नवजीवन के नाम से जाना गया, उर्दू में कौमी आवाज़ के रूप में जाना गया। In keeping with the changing times, National Herald Group, published by Associated Journals Limited, realized that the future of news media lies in the digital space. And with that in mind, we launched our online avatar on November 14th, birth anniversary of Pandit Nehru ji, 2016, with the launch of nationalheraldindia.com. It is for this reason, among others, that we have chosen to come here in Bengaluru, the digital capital of India, for this very special occasion. And in the true spirit of Bangalore, let me say, Samast Kannadige Rege Namaskara. Namma Pritya Deshake Swatanta Tandu Koduvali Patra Vahisida National Herald Pratikaye E Sabharambake Hardik Swagata. ನನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕನ್ನಡಿಗ ಬಂಧುಗಳಿಗೆ ಮತ್ತು ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರಿಗೆ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. Let me now invite the stage having been set. Let me now invite our chief guest, first of all, Honorable Shri Hamid Ansari ji, Vice President of India, to please come upon the stage. Let me also invite Honorable Vajubhai Wala, Governor of Karnataka, Honorable Rahul Gandhi ji, Member of Parliament and Vice President of Indian National Congress, Honorable Siddaramaiah ji, Chief Minister of Karnataka, Honorable Oscar Fernandez ji, Member of Parliament and Director of Associated Generals Limited, and Shri Nilab Mishra, Editor-in-Chief of National Herald, to please come on stage. It is time for all of us to welcome our guests with a big round of applause. Let me begin by extending a warm welcome to all our dignitaries. Firstly, our chief guest, His Excellency Vice President Honorable Hamid Ansari ji. May I request Oscar Fernandez ji to welcome him with a bouquet presentation on behalf of the National Herald team. May I now request Sumant Dubey ji, member of our board, to welcome Honorable Governor Vajubhai Wala ji with a bouquet presentation. May I now request Captain of our ship, Editor-in-Chief Nilab Mishra ji, to kindly welcome Honorable Rahul Gandhi ji with a bouquet presentation. May I now request Piyush Jain ji from National Herald team for a bouquet presentation to Parmeshwaran ji, while I'll be presenting a bouquet to Honorable Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji. We begin the formal part of this afternoon. It is my great pleasure to invite a fellow board member who, in absence of our chairman, Motilal Vora ji, is the host this afternoon on behalf of the National Herald team. All of you know of his antecedents and various capacities in which he has saved the nation of India. But it is my double pleasure because he is certainly one of the most distinguished sons of Karnataka who has served the nation in various capacities. We are indeed very proud to have him on our board. Let me invite Oscar ji to please arrive and share a few words.
Esteemed Uparashtrapati ji, Hamid Ansari ji, Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Vajubhai Wala ji, Honorable Vice President of the Congress Party, beloved Rahul Gandhi ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Siddaramaiah ji, Honorable President of the Karnataka Pradesh Congress Committee, Sri Parameshwar ji, Worshipful Mayor of Bangalore, Leader of the Opposition in Rajya Sabha, Sri Ghulam Nabi Azad ji, General Secretaries of the AICC, Honorable Ministers, Government of Karnataka, Members of Parliament, legislators, and all brothers and sisters. I feel honored today in welcoming on behalf of the Associated Journals Limited and Karnataka's wonderful capital city, Bengaluru, Your Excellency Uparashtrapati ji, Hamid Ansari ji. as the chief guest at the launch of the commemorative publication of National Herald to mark 70 years of our country's independence from foreign rule. We are all aware that the beloved first Prime Minister of India, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, had founded National Herald as a daily newspaper in 1938 as a significant voice of Mahatma Gandhi-led freedom movement and its values. In decades immediately after independence, National Herald mirrored an ancient civilization's aspirations to build a modern, democratic, just, equitable, scientific, and inclusive society marching to find its rightful place in the Committee of Nations. But 70 years after independence, we find certain constitutional values and aspirations being challenged. It is all the more important that modern institutions of a democratic state, including the news media, or the fourth estate as it is called, plays an important role in our democratic system of being its conscience keeper. We find India at a crucial crossroads, so to say, at this juncture. Who but a scholar like Yours Excellency can throw a meaningful light on the finest values of Indian freedom struggle, the progressive aspirations of a modern democratic nation based on the principles of justice, equity, inclusiveness, and social harmony. I am glad to inform everybody that National Herald, that temporarily suspended publication a few years back, and its Hindi and Urdu sister publications are in a process of being revived as a multimedia news outlet with a strong digital and print presence. We already have a beta news website running into its 8th month now. It is currently being redesigned to be upgraded as a full-fledged news website that will become fully operational later this month. Uparashtrapati Ji, we eagerly look forward to your insights in the course of this commemorative function. Before that, we would like to hear the sagacious words from Karnataka PCC President G. Parameshwar, Karnataka Honorable Chief Minister Sri Siddaramaiah Ji, and the Congress Vice President Sri Rahul Gandhi Ji. We are also grateful that His Excellency, the Governor of Karnataka, has decided to grace this occasion with his presence. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Oscar Ji. May I now invite Pradesh Congress Committee President, our learned Pradesh Congress Committee Chief. So you can use that mic. You can use that dais. Learned, apart from serving the state in various capacities, he also holds a PhD in plant physiology from University of Adelaide. Sir, you're welcome to share a few words.
Most respected Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Muhammad Hamid Ansari Ji, His Excellency the Governor of Karnataka, Shri the young, dynamic, and the future of India, Honorable Vice President of the Indian National Congress, Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka, Shri Siddaramaiah ji, one of the director of the Associated Journals and our own leader, Shri Oscar Fernandez ji, the Editor-in-Chief of the National Herald, Shri Neelab Mishra ji, General Secretary of the All India Congress Committee, Shri Ghulam Nabi Azad ji, Shri Venugopal ji, and Shri Hari Prasad ji, and other AICC functionaries, PCC presidents from the neighboring states, other dignitaries who are present here, the invitees from different walks of life, ladies and gentlemen, and of course, my dear media friends. My best of the greetings to all of you this afternoon. It is indeed an honor for me as a congressman to associate it with an historical event like this, the release of the National Herald's commemorative publication. On behalf of Pradesh Congress Committee and on behalf of the people of Karnataka, I sincerely wish the venture a very great success. The National Herald, which played an important role in the freedom movement of the country, was dear to the hearts of the people of this country because it focused on the great ideals, objectives, and the purposes of the Indian National Congress. Established in 1938 by Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru ji, at a time when he seemed unable to make an impact on the reactionary tendencies, National Herald served as his mouthpiece, allowing to address and endorse unpopular stances that he would not have been able to defend as a political leader. He used the editorial pieces to guide the nation in all-inclusive, egalitarian, and harmonious path. The National Herald that was established in Lucknow on the 9th of September 1938 carried on its masthead a very inspiring slogan, "Freedom is peril. Defend it in all your might." Srimati Indira Gandhi ji, then a young schoolgirl, picked real independence and welcomed even when it is criticized him and the government policies. Pandit Nehru also served it as an international correspondent and at times wrote editorials to espouse unpopular views. Many great leaders, including Purushottam Das Tandon, Sardar Patel ji, Rajendra Prasad ji, Sarojini Naidu, Acharya Narendra Dev, Rafi Ahmad Kidwai, were associated with National Herald. Mahatma Gandhi ji, the father of the nation, blessed this great venture. All these leaders ensured that the paper was not influenced by any vested interests and gave complete editorial freedom in spite of the fact that the Congress party funded the National Herald to continue its publication uninterruptedly. The editorials, which can be seen in the archives, will show how they were most impartial, unbiased, and judiciously objective and educative. Pandit Nehru never objected for any adverse criticism when they were made against him. Friends, today our democracy is facing a very challenging time. Attacks on opposition, attacks on the media, and miming the voices of dissent or the policies ruthlessly followed by the present dispensation. the media houses, and the journalists who do not jump into the bandwagon are subjected to great stress. In the recent survey on the freedom of speech, India has fallen to 136 level in the world. In this context, we welcome the launching of the commemorative publication at Bengaluru. Karnataka is known for a very healthy media in the country. Our party and the government would always welcome the impartial criticism and judicious courage on the lapses while implementing the innumerable developmental programs aimed at the welfare of common man, especially the poor and the downtrodden. I am confident that the National Herald will serve the nation with professional integrity and editorial autonomy. Lastly, I sincerely thank the Associate Journals Limited and particularly our leader, Sri Rahul Gandhi, for this initiative and organizing this event in Bengaluru. Thank you. Jai Hind.
Thank you, Dr. Parmeshwaraji. Let me now invite Popular Chief Minister of the State of Karnataka, Honorable Siddaramaiah ji, under whose leadership the State of Karnataka continues to march forward on the road of prosperity, peace, justice and development, to kindly share his thoughts with the audience.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರಗಳು. ಉಪರಾಷ್ಟ್ರಪತಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಶ್ರೀ ಮೊಹಮ್ಮದ್ ಹಮೀದ್ ಅನ್ಸಾರಿಜಿ ಅವರೇ, ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ರಾಜ್ಯದ ರಾಜ್ಯಪಾಲರಾದಂಥ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಶ್ರೀ ವಜೂಭಾಯ್ ರೂಢಾಭಾಯ್ ವಾಲಾಜಿ ಅವರೇ, ಅಖಿಲ ಭಾರತ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ಸಿನ ಉಪಾಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ನಮ್ಮೆಲ್ಲರ ಕಣ್ಮಣಿಗಳು ಆದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ರಾಹುಲ್ ಗಾಂಧೀಜಿ ಅವರೇ, ಪ್ರದೇಶ ಕಾಂಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಸಮಿತಿಯ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾದಂಥ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಜಿ ಪರಮೇಶ್ವರ್ ಅವರೇ, ರಾಜ್ಯಸಭೆಯ ಸದಸ್ಯರು ಹಿರಿಯರು ಆದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ಆಸ್ಕರ್ ಫರ್ನಾಂಡಿಸ್ ಅವರೇ, ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಹೆರಾಲ್ಡ್ನ ಪ್ರಧಾನ ಸಂಪಾದಕರಾದಂಥ ಶ್ರೀ ನೀಲಬ್ ಮಿಶ್ರಾ ಅವರೇ, ಎಲ್ಲ ಗೌರವಾನ್ವಿತ ಆಹ್ವಾನಿತ ಗಣ್ಯರೇ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಎಲ್ಲ ಬಂಧು ಭಗಿನಿಯರೇ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮದ ಗೆಳೆಯರೇ, I feel we as loyal congressmen are all extremely privileged and honored to be a part of this very unique and inspiring function in which a commemorative publication of National Herald is being released to mark 70 glorious years of independent India. Our great nation not just achieved its independence under the exemplary and inspirational leadership of Mahatma Gandhi ji, as well as the visionary dynamism of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, but the foundation of an India with all-time values of democracy, secularism, equality, inclusiveness, and tolerance was firmly laid. When we recall the struggle for our independence, journalism played a highly impactful role, so much so that it was synonymous with nationalism, patriotism, and secularism. Pandit ji and other freedom fighters such as Purushottam Das Tandon, Acharya Narendra Dev, Kailasnath Kadzu, Rafi Ahmad Kidwai, Krishnadat Paliwal, and Govind Vallabh Pant in 1937 established the Associated Journalists Limited, under whose aegis National Herald was published in the year 1938. Knowing Panditji's penchant for lofty ideals, the National Herald, in every issue, proudly proclaimed its motto: "Freedom is in peril. Defend it with all your might," and it's pasted in his handwriting. It is interesting to note that our beloved former Prime Minister Indira Gandhi ji had forwarded this quote of Gabriel to her illustrious father, Pandit Nehru. The National Herald has always championed the cause of the freedom of press and was considered as the voice of India during our fight for independence. No wonder it was banned between 1942 and 1945, following the gag on the Indian press of the Quit India resolution. It is highly relevant in these times of political patronage of the press that Pandit Nehru resigned in 1947 as chairman of the board of National Herald because he became a part of interim government. Panditji was firm in his belief that a newspaper in free country should not be influenced by a political party. Despite this formal cessation from the board, Pandit Nehru maintained close association with the editors but never interfered in the editorial policy or working of the newspaper. The National Herald has also had sister publications, namely Navajivan in Hindi and Qawmi Awaz in Urdu. Though these publications, the National Herald Group strove to build a resurgent India. The fortunes of the National Herald were closely tied with those of Indian National Congress. It was shut down for 2 years from 1977 following the defeat of Indira Gandhi in the general elections. In 1986, the newspaper again faced the prospect of closure but was revived following the intervention of the then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi. It is heartening to note that Associated Journalists Limited is reviving the National Herald by launching its English website and resuming paid publication as a multimedia outlet focusing primarily on a news presence in digital forum. Karnataka, its people and the land have always been known to resurrect and salvage the fortunes of many personalities and projects. Indians in general and congressmen in particular can never forget the magnanimity of Kannadigas extended to the colossal personality of Indira Gandhi during her epic political battles. Friends and fellow congressmen, it is not a happy coincidence again. Is it not a happy coincidence again that today, through the release of the National Herald's Commemorative publication in Bengaluru, we are witnessing our commitment to the rededication of the editorial vision and principles of Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru and India's freedom movement that are building a modern, democratic, just, equitable, liberal, and socially harmonious nation. I am sure, under the wise counsel of Congress Supremo, Srimati Sonia Gandhi, and astute dynamism of Sri Rahul Gandhi, the National Herald will re-emerge as the potent voice of all right-thinking people of India. I wish the office bearers of the Associated Journals Limited stupendous success in all their endeavors. Thank you all. Jai Hind, Jai Karnataka.
Thank you, Siddaramaiah ji. In a few months from now, India would complete 7 decades as an independent nation. On the eve of our independence, 70 years back, the stroke of midnight, Pandit Nehru spoke from the central halls of Indian Parliament. The speech that he delivered, famously come to known as Tryst of Destiny speech, still echoes in various corners and nooks of our country. His words, mark the mission statement for India. I quote, "The ambition of the greatest man of our generation has been to wipe every tear from every eye. That may be beyond us, but so long as there are tears and suffering, so long our work will not be over." Our next speaker has also made this mission the mission of his life. I would like you to welcome Honorable Shri Rahul Gandhi ji, Member of Parliament and Vice President of Indian National Congress. So please come and share his thoughts with our audience.
Honorable Vice President Mohammad Hamid Ansari ji, Honorable Governor Vajubhai Rudabhai Wala ji, Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji, PCC President Dr. G. Parmeshwar ji, Oscar Fernandez ji, Suman Dubey ji, Neelab Mishra ji, senior leaders of the Congress Party, ladies and gentlemen, friends, I'd like to welcome all of you here today. Vora ji is not here, it was mentioned earlier, and there is another gentleman who is not here, who I also remember, who is Mr. Murli Deora, who helped bring National Herald to where it is today. Some days, day before yesterday, I went to the Golden Temple and I was told of a very powerful concept in Sikhism. It is the concept of Piri Miri. Piri means the power of truth, and Miri means the truth of power. And a Congress worker explained to me how the two swords in Sikhism represent Piri and Miri. And where those two swords cross, where Piri and Miri touch each other, is justice. I found that to be a very interesting and powerful concept. What is happening in India today is a disbalance between these two forces. The power of truth is being completely replaced by the truth of power. And anybody who attempts to say the truth, who attempts to stand for the truth, is pushed aside in different forms. Dalits are beaten up, minorities are frightened, journalists are threatened, bureaucrats are threatened. Madhya Pradesh, a couple of days back, the policeman himself is saying he is being forced to do something he doesn't want to do. I asked him, I'm a citizen of India, I'm allowed to come into Madhya Pradesh. On what basis are you stopping me? Is there a law which you are applying? And he looked at me and said, no, there is no law I am applying. So I said, why are you stopping me? Because I have been told to. That is basically what is being done in India. A couple of days ago, I wanted to go to Uttar Pradesh. I wanted to go and meet some people there. I was stopped at the border of Uttar Pradesh and told you can't go into Uttar Pradesh. Few days ago, I went to Madhya Pradesh. I was stopped at the border of Madhya Pradesh. I was told you can't go into Madhya Pradesh. And when I asked why, under what law, the answer was no. There is no law We're not applying a law on you. You're just not allowed to go. Please turn around and go back. So this is the India we are living in. An India where power will simply manufacture the truth. And everybody knows what the truth is. But they're scared to say it. A famous Soviet poet once said, when truth is replaced by silence, the silence is a lie. And that is what the government is trying to do. They're forcing everyone into silence. And the National Herald has a spirit. It's a very strong spirit. It is not going to be silent. The editor came to me some time back, and I told him, I said, there might be times when you want to say things against the Congress party, against me, against some of our ideas. I want you to be absolutely comfortable, and I want you to say these things because it is important that we hear them. So that is the spirit that we expect from the National Herald. Speak the truth. Do not be silenced. Do not be scared. And there's a huge opportunity for you. Thousands and thousands of journalists in this country are not being allowed to write what they want. I meet them and they tell me that we are not allowed to write what we want. You should open your doors to these people. You have free recruits all over the country. There has never been a time to find capable, honest journalists as there is today. So I wish National Herald and all of you a great future. And please speak the truth and do not be scared of speaking the truth. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Rahul ji. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for release of the commemorative publication now, and we will begin the formal part by presentation of the first copy to the Honorable Vice President of India, His Excellency Hamid Ansari ji. May I request Oscar Fernandez ji on behalf of the National Herald team to do the honors. May I now also request rest of the National Herald team to present copies to our dignitaries. Thank you. Thank you. Our chief guest this afternoon needs little introduction. Not only he has served as one of the most distinguished diplomats of his generation, nor just that he has served in highest echelons of academia and served our nation, and nor just has he also distinguished himself as a key scholar and writer whose ideas have left imprints on minds of peoples of India. But also it is of special mention that he too comes from an illustrious family that has made sacrifices during freedom struggle, a family of freedom fighters. It is my privilege and honor indeed to invite His Excellency Honorable Vice President of India, Shri Muhammad Hamid Ansari ji, to deliver the keynote address.
Honorable Governor of Karnataka, Vajubhai Walaji, Honorable Chief Minister of Karnataka Siddaramaiah ji, Honorable Rahul Gandhi ji, Honorable Oscar Fernandez ji, Dr. Parameshwara, Shri Neelab Mishra, dignitaries in the audience, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Today is a memorable occasion, the resurrection of a happening in our freedom struggle, a reminder to a younger generation of the role that media in the hands of people committed to a cause could do to motivate the public. This is the 70th year of our independence, and the National Herald's return to active media space with a commemorative edition is worthy of being celebrated. Conceived by Jawaharlal Nehru, the National Herald began its publication from Lucknow in 1938 and soon became the voice of our independence movement. Its banner of freedom in peril has an abiding relevance. The history of journalism in India is closely linked to the history of our freedom struggle. Indian journalists were not merely news providers. They were freedom fighters and social activists who fought not only to rid India of foreign rule, but also to rid our society of social prejudices, casteism, communalism, and discrimination. The press played an important role in educating, convincing, and mobilizing our people. Many founding members of the Congress in 1985 were journalists. The most inspiring of the journalists, like Tribune, Hindustan, Leader, Sudhakar, Kesari, Akhbar-e-Aam, The Hindu, and Swadesh, were edited by prominent leaders like Tilak, Gokhale, Subramania Iyer, Lajpat Rai, Madan Mohan Malviya, and Agrakar. It was summed up by a poet. खींचो न कमानों को न तलवार निकालो, जब तोप मुकाबिल हो तो अखबार निकालो. The press emerged as a tool for national awakening. It became a medium of nationalist political participation for the masses. The press was a medium for propagation of modern ideas of democracy, freedom, and equality. The English press emerged as a medium of communication between nationalists across the country and played a role in welding India into a single nation and in giving the Indians a sense of national identity. This was crucial in mobilizing the masses for various nationalist and social causes. Gandhiji was associated with 6 journals and editor of 2 very influential weeklies. He published no advertisements. At the same time, he did not want his newspaper to run at a loss. Young India and Harijan became powerful voices of his views on all subjects. He wrote on all subjects. He wrote simply and clearly, but forcefully. For Gandhiji, journalism was a public service. And he said, I quote him, "In my humble opinion, it is wrong to use a newspaper as a means of earning a living. There are certain spheres of work which are of such consequence and have such bearing on public welfare that to undertake them for earning one's livelihood will defeat the primary aim behind them. When further a newspaper is treated as a means of making profit, the result is likely to be serious malpractice. It is not necessary to prove to those who have some experience of journalism that such malpractices do prevail on a large scale. End of quote. Jawaharlal Nehru was described by Gandhiji as an artist, an ardent patriot, a humanitarian, and an internationalist. His journalistic ethics were a reflection of those of the Mahatma. He believed that the media was a pillar of democracy. He envisaged a free, unfettered, and honest press. He watched over the interests of media persons in independent India. The Working Journalists Act, which tried to give a degree of protection to journalists to ensure freedom of press, was largely his doing. The Act, I believe, is now in disuse, and short-term contracts that make journalists beholden to the preferred lines of the journal publication are in vogue. In this age of post-truths and alternative facts, where advertorials and response features edge out editorials, we would do well to recall Nehru's vision of the press playing its role of a watchdog in democracy and look at the ethos and principles that powered his journalism. In an open society like ours, we need a responsible press to hold power to account. This is why freedom of press under Article 19, 1A of the Constitution is subject only to reasonable restrictions in the interests of the sovereignty and integrity of India, the security of the state, public order, decency, contempt of court, defamation, and incitement to an offense. The Supreme Court of India has held that freedom of speech and of press is the ark of the covenant of democracy, because public criticism is essential to the working of its institutions. Another pronouncement of the Supreme Court bears a reiteration, and I quote the judgment: "But what is called for today in the present times is a proper balancing of the freedom of press and said laws consistent with the democratic way of life ordained by the Constitution." Over the last few decades, press and electronic media have emerged as a major factor in our national life. They are still expanding and in the process of becoming more inquisitive. Our system of government demands, as do the systems of the governments of the United States of America and the United Kingdom, constant vigilance over exercise of governmental power by the press and the media amongst them. It is essential for a good government, end of quote. The duty of the state is thus clear. A free media is not only beneficial, but necessary in a free society. If press freedom is attacked, it will result in the jeopardizing of citizens' rights. When faced with unjust restrictions and the threat of attacks, self-censorship in the media can have the opposite effect, aiding the covering up of abuses and fostering frustration in marginalized communities. Our constitutional framework provides for required intervention by the state to ensure smooth working of the press and the society. the laws provide that such intervention should only be in the interest of the public at large. By the same token, the state shall not impede the free flow of information that will go a long way in protecting and promoting the citizens' rights. The media, if it is to remain true to its calling, has to do likewise. I am happy to learn that National Herald resumes publication in both print and digital forms. I am sure that it will uphold the standards of journalism enshrined in his newspaper. Jai Hind.
थैंक यू, थैंक यू। सभागार में उपस्थित सभी अतिथियों के लिए धन्यवाद प्रस्ताव रखने हेतु मैं ऐसे व्यक्तित्व को आमंत्रित करना चाहता हूं जिन्होंने वो भावना जो नेहरू जी के दिए गए उस अनमोल वाक्य में निहित है, स्वतंत्रता संकट में है, पूरी ताकत से इसकी रक्षा की जाए, उस भावना का रक्षा, पहरा और निर्वहन करने का जिम्मेदारी अपने कंधों पे जिन्होंने ली है। May I invite somebody who is also one of the few editors left who still holds the journalistic ethos and values to be sacrosanct in the current day context, and that is the reason why we are very proud to have him as our captain of ship, our editor-in-chief, Shri Nilab Mishra ji, to please come and deliver the vote of thanks. Nilab ji.
Honorable Vice President Shri Ahmed Ansari ji, Honorable Governor Shri Vaju Bhaiwala ji, Honorable Chief Minister Siddaramaiah ji, Honorable Home Minister and President of the Karnataka Congress Shri Parmeshwara ji, and Honorable Member of Parliament and a bearer of the legacy of National Herald, Mr. Rahul Gandhi ji. So, gentlemen and other dignitaries in front of me, there are numerous, some I recognize by face, some I don't. So, welcome and thanks to them also for coming here. It was a scintillating afternoon and enlightening too. As poet Louis Macnish has said, we cannot cage the minute within its net of gold. So now we get out of that net of gold. He also said, when all is told, we can't beg for pardon, but we do give a vote of thanks, which he forgot to say. So this is a vote of thanks to all of you. The inspirational words we heard from the dais, to the dignitaries who blessed and graced this occasion with those sagacious words. I give my vote of thanks to the members of the audience, to other dignitaries who are here for their presence and boosting our morale. I again give a vote of thanks. But at this moment, when at this scintillating, inspiring moment, I would most of all like to remember our founder and say with Shakespeare, and those were pearls that were his eyes. And mind you, we can still see with those eyes because those eyes were fearless and full of reason. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Nilab ji. May I now request everyone to please stand up for the national anthem.